Good morning, students. Here we come up with the gross anatomy lecture of the left coronary artery. So, the left coronary artery. The definition. How does it take origin? It will take origin from the left posterior aortic sinus. It is known as the left posterior aortic sinus. This is the anatomical terminology, and in clinical terminology they often use it as left coronary sinus. So it will take origin from left coronary sinus according to clinical terminology. But according to anatomical terminology, it will take origin from the left posterior aortic sinus. More, this left coronary artery will be supplying more part of the myocardium as compared to the right coronary artery. And also, the left coronary artery will be wider in caliber than the right coronary artery. These are the two important points which we usually describe in the definition of the left coronary artery. Now, course, and then along with the course, the branches. This is how we progress in the description of the coronary arteries. Right coronary artery, similarly we have seen. Now this is the turn of the left coronary artery, in which we describe the entire course. We describe the entire branches after definition, and in definition we just have to explain one or two sentences. Now here goes the diagram, the same diagram which we had drawn for the right coronary artery. Very simple line diagram which you need to draw over here. First we draw this auricle. After drawing this auricle, this border, right border, and then this is the inferior border which we are drawing. And in this inferior border, we will just shorten it till here, and this is the left border and the left auricle. So therefore, left auricle, this will be the right auricle, and here we are going to draw pulmonary trunk. So therefore, at this point we are going to draw the pulmonary trunk. This will be our pulmonary trunk. We will thicken it, and then inside pulmonary trunk. And posterior to that we are going to draw the aorta. So therefore here we go with the aorta. This is very important. Now in this aorta, what we make is, there should be one anterior aortic sinus and two posterior aortic sinuses. So therefore, in order to draw that, we will draw in this way. So here, anterior aortic sinus, the right posterior aortic sinus, left posterior aortic sinus. So therefore, this is how it should be given, and here we are going to write down this structure as anterior aortic sinus, from which right coronary artery will take origin, and we know this right coronary artery as it takes origin. And then over here we are going to describe this as the left posterior coronary sinus, from which left coronary artery will take origin. So left coronary artery, here it will pass, first it takes origin from the left posterior coronary sinus, the left posterior aortic sinus. From the left posterior aortic sinus, that means it will be starting from posterior to pulmonary trunk, posterior to pulmonary trunk. Then this left coronary artery will pass in between pulmonary trunk and the left auricle. This point is very important. So in between pulmonary trunk and the left auricle, the left coronary artery passes, just as we had seen in right coronary artery between pulmonary trunk and right auricle. Now left coronary artery will pass between pulmonary trunk and left auricle. Therefore, after passing, first we'll write the name, left coronary artery. After passing, it will immediately divide into two branches. the continuation, the main continuation of the left coronary artery, the main continuation of the left coronary artery will be, as it passes down, we will see this as anterior interventricular branch. So therefore, here we will name this as anterior interventricular artery or branch. Now this is the first branch of the left coronary artery, or rather it is termed as continuation of left coronary artery itself, anterior interventricular artery. It will travel in the anterior interventricular groove till the incisura epicis cordis. Please note down this, incisura epicis cordis. There it will turn, it will wind around the inferior border of the heart, and then after winding around, it will pass posteriorly, and here as it passes posteriorly, it will pass where? It will go posteriorly in the posterior interventricular groove, where it will anastomose, with the branch of the right coronary artery. Which branch of the right coronary artery? Posterior interventricular branch of the right coronary artery. And this anastomosis will take place, please note down, in the posterior interventricular groove, exactly covering anterior 1/3 and posterior 2/3. That means that anterior 1/3, if we want to show, we will reduce this length, and here we can show this is the anastomosis. After curving around this anterior interventricular artery, after curving around incisura epicis cordis round the inferior border, it will pass in posterior interventricular groove, where it will meet with the branch of the right coronary artery. Which branch? Posterior interventricular branch. And this anastomosis will take place at the junction. Now here it will take place at the junction between anterior 1/3 and posterior 2/3 of the posterior interventricular groove. So this anastomosis we have shown in the posterior interventricular groove, exactly at the junction of anterior 1/3 and posterior 2/3 of the posterior interventricular groove. So therefore, here we will name this artery as the posterior interventricular artery. So therefore, this is how the anterior interventricular artery will end, in the posterior interventricular groove, roughly at the junction of anterior 1/3, posterior 2/3, by anastomosing with the posterior interventricular branch. And we know this posterior interventricular branch is the branch of right coronary artery. So therefore, now this is the entire anterior interventricular artery, that is the continuation of the left coronary artery, or the first branch of the left coronary artery. Now the second branch of left coronary artery, second branch will be, there will be this branch, and this branch is known as the circumflex artery, second branch. Name of this branch, it is known as the circumflex artery. Please note it down. It is called circumflex artery. Where it will pass? It will pass in the left part of atrioventricular groove. This is the left part of atrioventricular groove. Please note down. And then it will pass till the left border of the heart. At the left border of the heart, it will curve and pass posteriorly. It is curving and passing posteriorly. And where does it pass posteriorly? It will pass posteriorly in the posterior atrioventricular groove. So therefore, this circumflex artery will curve around the left border of the heart and will pass posteriorly in the posterior atrioventricular groove. This is very important. One more question answers. The anterior interventricular artery will travel in which groove? Anterior interventricular groove. And the circumflex will travel in which groove? Atrioventricular groove. The left part of atrioventricular groove, and similarly posterior part of atrioventricular groove. Then what will happen? As it passes in the posterior part of atrioventricular groove, it will anastomose with the right coronary artery. And where it will anastomose? In the posterior part of atrioventricular groove. Remember, in the discussion of the right coronary artery, I had specified the anastomosis between the circumflex branch of the left coronary artery and the right coronary artery in the posterior atrioventricular groove will take place slightly to the left of the crux of the heart. So here we show this. Here we are going to show this anastomosis. This is the, now I continue with this right coronary artery, and this right coronary artery will pass posteriorly. Here it is passing posteriorly, and then it will anastomose. So therefore, this is the right coronary artery passing posteriorly, slide to the left of the crux of the heart, where it will anastomose with the circumflex branch. And here, this right coronary artery will give this posterior interventricular artery. Very simple. It is basically very simple based on this line diagram. So this is the posterior interventricular branch, and here we already have this anterior interventricular artery. Anastomosis between right coronary artery and circumflex branch of left coronary artery, slightly to the left of the crux of the heart. And I have already explained it to you, what is the crux of the heart in the right coronary artery segment. So therefore, this is the circumflex branch, the second branch of the left coronary artery. Now, the left coronary artery branches, the two main branches we have discussed, the course of the two main branches. Now, branches of anterior interventricular artery and branches of circumflex artery. Very interesting. Now, branches of anterior interventricular artery, very simple. For those branches, keep on drawing. These are the branches. And these branches, they are known as anterior ventricular rami. So therefore, these are the branches of, I will name these branches as anterior ventricular rami. And these anterior ventricular rami, they will supply the anterior surfaces of right as well as left ventricles, and they will pass in oblique directions from the anterior interventricular artery. As you can see, they are passing in oblique directions, supplying the right ventricle, sternocostal surface of the right ventricle and sternocostal surface of the left ventricle as well. So they are called anterior ventricular rami. Now, one branch will take origin from the division of the stem of left coronary artery. And this is the point where I put my finger at the division. Here it was, the left coronary artery was dividing into anterior interventricular and circumflex. So here, one of the branches will be taking place, and that branch will pass like this. And this branch is known as diagonal branch of left ventricle. So therefore, this is another branch of anterior interventricular artery. So it is known as, here we will mention this as diagonal branch of the left ventricle. Please draw. And where does it take its origin from? The diagonal branch will be originating from right at the branching of anterior interventricular and circumflex arteries. So diagonal branch. So first, the anterior ventricular rami, second diagonal branch, and third one, very interesting. This third one will be from here, it will give origin, this anterior interventricular will give origin to the left side as left conus artery. So this becomes the left conus artery. Here I can write on this side the left conus artery. And if you recollect, in the right coronary artery, there was one branch which was known as the right conus artery. So therefore, this was the branch which we had discussed in right coronary artery, right conus artery. And so therefore, now this is the right conus artery from right coronary artery, left conus artery from anterior interventricular. Both will form anastomotic necklace in front of the pulmonary trunk, which was known as annulus of Buisson's. This I have discussed with you. So this is the annulus of Buisson's by right and left conus artery. So this is left conus artery. So therefore, these are the branches of anterior interventricular artery. One last branch I have to discuss, but before that, once again we'll revise the branches. Very simple. The anterior ventricular rami, then the diagonal branch, very simple, and left conus artery. And the last one will be septal branch. This septal branch is very important. Here we will show this as septal branch. And what is this septal branch? This septal branch will supply ventricular septum, and it is very important to understand which part. So first I'll write down septal artery, septal branch. And what it will supply? This septal branch will supply the anterior superior 2/3 of ventricular septum. Please note down, this septal branch will supply anterior superior 2/3 of ventricular septum, because we have already discussed the posterior inferior 1/3 of ventricular septum was supplied by septal branch of right coronary artery, and the anterior superior 2/3 of the ventricular septum is supplied by septal branch of anterior interventricular artery, which is a branch of left coronary artery. So this segment is very important. This septal artery will supply, once again I will repeat, the anterior superior 2/3 of the ventricular septum. So here we end our branches of anterior interventricular artery. Once again I will repeat very fast. The branches of anterior interventricular artery are the anterior ventricular rami, second diagonal branch, third left conus branch, and fourth septal branch, which will supply the anterior superior 2/3 of the ventricular septum. Now we come to the circumflex. Circumflex artery will give various branches in the form of, now those branches will be, for example, the left atrial and ventricular rami. So here we show few branches in the form of left atrial and ventricular rami. Very light branches will grow, so we do not complicate the entire diagram. And these branches, we will term it as left atrial and ventricular rami. What will it supply? The left atrial and ventricular rami obviously will supply the left atrium and the left ventricle. First of the branches of the circumflex. Second branch of circumflex, left marginal. That left marginal artery will travel around the left border of the heart. So here I will draw left marginal artery. So therefore, here I am going to mention this as the left marginal artery. This is the second branch of circumflex artery. I will give the name. This is the first branch, that is the left atrial and ventricular rami. This is the second branch, left marginal artery. Both of them are branches of the circumflex artery. Third branch, very interesting, 35% of cases there will be sinoatrial nodal artery. So for that, please note down here, from this we will show one artery which will pass in this direction, and this will be the sinoatrial nodal artery. So going to mark this on this side as sinoatrial nodal artery, and we are going to write in 35% of cases, because we have already discussed in 65% of cases, SA node, the SA node will be supplied by sinoatrial nodal branch of right coronary artery. 65% of cases, this is asked in MCQs or 1 mark question answer. And in remaining 35% of cases, sinoatrial node will be, the sinoatrial node which is located here will be supplied by sinoatrial nodal artery of circumflex branch. So this is branch number 3 of circumflex artery. So once again I revise, the left atrial and ventricular rami, number 1, number 2, the left marginal branch, number 3, in 35% of cases the sinoatrial nodal branch, that is branch number 3, and branch number 4. In 10 to 20% of cases, You have to mention this, in 10 to 20% of cases, sometimes the posterior interventricular artery is a branch of circumflex artery. So therefore, we simply write here as number 4, what we'll write will be posterior interventricular artery. No need to draw this diagram, no need to show this in the diagram, simply mention branch number 4 as posterior interventricular artery, but only in 10 to 20% of cases. So sometimes in 10 to 20% of cases, the posterior interventricular artery will be a branch of circumflex artery. In those cases, there will be another branch from posterior interventricular which will supply AV node. So in those cases, there will be another branch from posterior interventricular artery which supplies the AV node, because we have seen basically during right coronary artery, we have seen that a branch will pass from the posterior interventricular in this direction, which we had drawn during the right coronary artery, and that was AV nodal branch to AV node. So therefore, in those cases where posterior interventricular artery is a branch of circumflex artery, then there will be a branch supplying the AV node. So this is branch number 4, but in only 10 to 20% of cases. And last branch. Now in the last branch, this is one mark question answer, left atrial. Now this is called left atrial branch. And this left atrial branch will anastomose in front of the atria along with the right atrial branches from right coronary artery. Very simple. The left atrial branches of this circumflex artery will anastomose with the right atrial branches of right coronary artery in front of the atria. And this anastomosis is known as, please note down, Kugel's artery. Kugel's, Kugel's artery. Sometimes, very rarely, it is asked in one mark question answer. What is Kugel's anastomotic network, or what is Kugel's artery? Kugel's. This Kugel's artery or anastomotic network is nothing but the left atrial branches of circumflex anastomosing with the right atrial branches in front of the atria. So these are the branches of the circumflex artery. Now, the entire distribution, please come on this side, here I am having space. So therefore, the entire distribution, I am going to just write it. This is the entire distribution of right and left coronary artery. Please note down, this is the right coronary artery, the left coronary artery, and here, this entire distribution, to make it very simple, the right coronary artery supplies the right atria, the right ventricle, here left coronary artery, the left atria, the left ventricle, except, now here comes the exception, right ventricle, right coronary artery supplies almost the entire right ventricle except the area of posterior interventricular, not posterior but anterior interventricular groove. So, except anterior interventricular groove. Why this exception? Because this anterior interventricular groove you have seen here, anterior interventricular is a branch of left coronary artery. So except the area on anterior interventricular groove, the entire right ventricle will be supplied by right coronary artery. What about the left side? The left coronary artery supplies the entire left ventricle except posterior, so here I'll write except posterior interventricular groove, except the area of left ventricle which is located around posterior interventricular groove, because posterior interventricular groove contains posterior interventricular artery which is a branch of right coronary artery. Should be very simple. Once again I'll repeat, right coronary artery supplies the entire right ventricle except anterior interventricular groove, and the left coronary artery supplies the entire left ventricle except posterior interventricular groove. Then next the right coronary artery will supply, remember ventricular septum. So right coronary artery supplies 1/3 of posterior inferior part of ventricular septum. This is very, very important. And left coronary artery, just now only I had described, in the left coronary artery will supply the 2/3, please note down, 2/3 of anterior superior part of ventricular septum. This is very important. And now the last part, which is very interesting, conducting system. Conducting system, must have learnt in physiology, we know that SA node, AV bundle, or it is called bundle of His, and the right and the left branches. Now here, right coronary artery will supply, please note down, SA node, AV node. At the same time, it will also supply the AV bundle, or it is called bundle of His. What about the left side? The left coronary artery will supply AV bundle or bundle of His. That means the AV bundle will be supplied by both right and left coronary artery. So AV bundle has a dual nerve supply. Remember, this conducting system is asked in MCQ. That is why we are specifying here. SA node is supplied by following artery. You will be given 4 options. AV node is supplied by following artery. What about AV bundle is supplied by following arteries? You will be given 1 option will be right and left coronary artery both. That is the correct option, AV bundle. Similarly, the left coronary artery after AV bundle, it will supply both the branches of AV bundle. So here we are going to write down the right as well as the left branches of AV bundle. And here we add one more. This is, I kept it for the last. Right coronary artery, the right coronary artery will supply some part of the left bundle branch. So it will supply some part of the left bundle branch. This is the distribution of the conducting system. Otherwise, both the right and the left branches, bundle branches, will be supplied by the left coronary artery. So here we complete the entire distribution based on the right and the left coronary artery in the heart. Thank you very much.